You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 188.2, our local boys basketball scoreboard with scores and highlights for varsity basketball for Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and Northern Hamilton counties, with Frankton head coach Brent Brobston, Alexandria head coach Marty Carroll, and Lapel head coach Kevin Cherry, and Madison-Grant head coach Josh Hendrixson.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Thank you, Gavin Miranda, for doing our intro, and welcome basketball fans to our local boys basketball scoreboard show with scores and highlights for all of our local games and scores from around the region. Today is February 26, 2025. It's a Wednesday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison-Grant High School. Producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we have scores and highlights from 14 varsity basketball games in Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and Northern Hamilton counties, with interviews with Frankton head coach Brent Brobston, Alexandria's Marty Carroll, Madison-Grant's Josh Hendrixson, and Lapel head coach Kevin Cherry. Before we get to that, I have a huge favor to ask of you. Please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. We are really easy to find. YouTube is, I believe, the future of the Central Indiana Sports Report. We're going to start doing a lot of videos, things like that. When we get enough subscribers that we can justify our time doing more videos and cool stuff like that. And I can get some more help, like, for example, Grant Schaus is aboard to be our IU guy, and we will have more announcements later. We're looking, obviously, high school sports is going to be our number one feature. That's why we started the Central Indiana Sports Report. But we also want to do more IU, Purdue, Pacers, Colts, and IndyCar in particular, and Ball State, Taylor, Indiana Wesleyan, Anderson, and IUK going forward. Last thing before we get to the scoreboard, I promise, every day we have our daily report at 1 o'clock. We go over everything that happened in local sports in high school, college, professional in Central Indiana, with scores and highlights and interviews and things like that. Please tune in every day at 1 o'clock for the Central Indiana Sports Report Daily Report. Oak Hill beat Northwestern 55-45 for Kevin Renbarger's 300th career win. Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network and I talked about the game and released that one early this morning on Wednesday. If you're interested in that, please go find it. Of course, we also interviewed Coach Renbarger after his achievement. Frankton won its 10th straight game, 46-39 over Shenandoah. 4A number 8 Noblesville beat Mississinewa 83-32. Alexandria 7-15 after its 63-46 win over Daleville. Madison-Grant got its 10th win of the season by beating Burris 63-39. Eastbrook won its 7th game in a row, beating Southwood 49-39 at home. 2A number 10 Lapel won its 11th game in a row and is now 17-5 after beating Newcastle 70-63. Tipton won its 5th straight and is 16-6 with a 54-35 win at Lewis Cass. 2A number 12 Carroll won its 4th in a row with a 57-48 win over Western. Carroll scored the first 14 points in that one. Hamilton Heights beat Rushville 71-40. Marion is 11-10 after a 71-57 win over Fort Wayne Northrop. West Dell clobbered Southern Wells 65-34. And it was Cowan 57, Union 41. Liberty Christian won its 3rd straight game, 62-56 at Eastern Hancock. And around the region, 2A number 4 Manchester clinched at least a share of the Three Rivers Conference Championship with a 78-53 win over Whitco. If Mechanical wins on Friday against Rochester, they will join the Squires as conference champions. Durante Morton led number 3 Westfield to an impressive come-from-behind victory over number 5 Mount Vernon, 62-58. Morton scored 18 points in the fourth quarter to force overtime. For the Shamrocks, who were down 12 in the second half, Morton finished with 26 points. Number 1 Fishers finished the regular season unbeaten with a 86-66 win. Cooper Zachary led the Tigers with 22 points. Jason Gardner Jr. and John Anthony Hall scored 16 apiece. Number 10 Lawrence North beat Hamilton Southeastern 70-60. 3A number 7 Crispus Attucks topped Carmel 47-39. 3A number 5 Garin Catholic beat University 73-47. Bryson Cardinal scored 30 points and went over 1,000 for his career. 3A number 1 Cathedral got past Zionsville 55-47. Brownsburg stayed hot with a 48-22 win over Center Grove. Pike won at Warren Central 56-49. It was Jay County 68, Winchester 57. Jaden Coomer scored 23 for the Patriots. Lafayette Jeff blew out Bowman Academy 82-36. Roncalli beat Central Catholic 64-54. And 4A number 9 Warsaw beat Tippecanoe Valley 62-55. Before we get to the highlights of our local games and our interviews with our coaches, please do us a huge favor and tell a friend about the Central Indiana Sports Report. It's the best way for it to grow. The more we grow, the more we do. The more we do, the better we get. The better we get at this, the better sports coverage we provide for you. So please do us a huge favor. I know that you've been thinking of somebody who would like the Central Indiana Sports Report. Just please copy and paste this into a text. Let them know we're here. You can do that at SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to keep interrupting the podcast. Frankton won its 10th game in a row Tuesday night, beating Shenandoah 46-39. Frankton is now 14-8 on the season. They were led by Brady Carmack's 14 points. Sophomore Trey Bennett had a double-double of 12 points and 14 rebounds. And senior Joey Wright had 9 points and 5 assists. He was 3 for 4 from the three-point line. On senior night, senior Javon Miller had 4 points and 4 rebounds. Frankton goes to 4-16 Blue River on Friday to conclude their regular season. I spoke with Frankton head coach Brent Brobston following Tuesday night's win.
I thought we had a really good team effort. We had a lot of different guys that were in the mix tonight and played, and I thought Javon Miller really played well for us. Obviously, being senior night, him and Baron Dietzer started. Both kids really played well for us. And then we had some guys off the bench play well, but as has been good for us, or been the kind of the course for us, Carmack and Trey Bennett and Joey Wright led us in scoring and rebounding, and kind of paved the way for us. But yeah, really good Shenandoah team, so it was a really good win for us.
Especially at the time of year, big wins against teams like that, especially this time of year.
Yeah, definitely heading into the sectional, and like you said, 10 in a row is big for us. And I think that we played in front of a really good crowd tonight. It was a big crowd, and the environment was good. And so I think that was a good preparation game for us heading into sectional week. Obviously, we still play Friday at Blue River, but and that'll be a good environment as well, I believe. But this was good for us. It was a sectional type atmosphere against a very good team, and I thought we really got us a good win.
Shenandoah is now 14-8 on the season. They had won 3 in a row coming in. It's a nice team. Junior Aiden Coffey had a game high 16 points. Junior Garrett May had a nice night with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 block shots. Shenandoah hosts 21-1 Wapahani on Friday, with a chance to win a share of the Mideastern Conference Championship. Wapahani is unbeaten at 8-0. Shenandoah is 7-1. A Shenandoah win would force a tie. Madison-Grant beat Muncie Burris 63-39. The Argyles are now 10-11 on the season. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Seniors Ike Almeida and Xavier Yagi scored 18 points apiece. Yagi made 3 threes in the second quarter and 2 more in the third to help the Argyles pull away. Senior Xander Gillespie scored 7, senior Luke Gilman 6, senior Levi Nelson finished with 5. Madison-Grant hosts 5 and 15 Daleville on Friday in its regular season finale. I spoke with Madison-Grant head coach Josh Hendrixson Friday morning about his team's win.
Early, we got some offense going. Xavier Yagi hit 6 threes for us last night. Really got us going in the first half, and then he ended up with 18 points. Then Ike really started punishing him down low, and he had 18 points himself. Quite a few of those in the second half. I think defensively we're pretty solid throughout. We did have some hiccups where we weren't as fundamental as I would like, but for the most part, I thought defensively we did a pretty good job.
And now you're at double-digit wins. I know it's not competing for championships, but it is a milestone and a pretty significant one, right?
Yeah, I mean, if anytime you can, get to double digits, better than not. Yeah, it's nice to get there, and if we can find a way to get a win Friday night, we can finish at a 500 record, which I don't think a lot of people thought we would do or could do. I saw some of the quote-unquote experts, prognosticators that had us somewhere in the 5 to 6 win range. So, if we could finish the regular season, winning 5 of our last 6 and finishing at 11-11, I think we would be peaking at the right time.
Burris is now 2-18. They were led by senior Gavin Mitchell with 14 points, 10 of those in the second half. Sophomore Matthew Hardy had 7, junior Malachi Smith 6, and sophomore Jasper Oldfield scored 5. Sophomore Lincoln Frost added 4. Burris hosts 13-9 Blackford on Thursday. Alexandria got a nice road win on Tuesday, 63-46 at Daleville. The Tigers are now 7-15 on the year. They were led by sophomore Bryson Eckler, who had 18 points, and junior Mason Fuller, who had 14. Those are 2 of the best 5 wide receivers in the area as well for a team that should be really good next year. Also, senior Carson Hall had 9 points. Alexandria hosts 15-7 Taylor on Thursday. I spoke with Alexandria head coach Marty Carroll after the win.
I thought defensively we played pretty well. Felt like Delville had several kids that could shoot the ball, and I thought our defense was good. And then offensively, we maybe been the best offense we've played.
And who played well for you tonight, Coach?
Eckler came off the bench, played really well. Mason Fuller had his best game of the year. But in reality, I thought we shared the ball and we got really good shots. And I don't know what the numbers were, but I think we shot it pretty well. And but there again, that's because of the way that we ran offense and shared the ball.
Senior Noah Colvin led Daleville with 12 points. Senior Josh Wilson added 11. Daleville is now 5-15 and go to 10-11 Madison-Grant on Friday. Oak Hill picked up a big 55-44 win at Northwestern to give head coach Kevin Renbarger his 300th career win. Kevin Helfrich and Grant Schaus of the Action Sports Network and I did a full report on that game and spoke with Coach Renbarger. Please go find that one. Oak Hill trailed at the end of every quarter except for the fourth, of course. They were down 14-5 at the end of the first. Coach Renbarger said it reminded him of the ugly Blackford loss, but the Golden Eagles were able to come from behind and get the win. They trailed 21-17 at halftime. They took their first lead of the game at 37-36, but Northwestern scored at the third quarter buzzer to take a 1-point lead into the fourth. Oak Hill then hit 11 of 12 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter to seal the win, and it was Jace Tonigal who led the come-from-behind victory. He scored 20 points. R.J. Sugart scored 14 and hit a huge three-pointer to give Oak Hill the lead for good, and he was 5 for 6 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. Sophomore Landon Cruzen had 12 points. He was 4 for 4 from the three-point line. Safe to say they would not have won that game without him. Owen Middleworth added 5 points. Oak Hill hosts 14-6 Delta in a big one on Friday in the Golden Eagles regular season finale. Northwestern is now 12-7. They were 1 for 9 from the three-point line and missed way too many easy shots on the night. They shot 41% from the field. Senior Hayden Cook had 18 points and 5 rebounds, and sophomore Braden Wilson scored 11 points. Senior Brock Schenk had 8 points and 5 rebounds. It is the end of the regular season for Northwestern. They will take on a very good 16-6 West Lafayette team in the Sectional 23 first round at Logansport next Wednesday. Northwestern has to feel like it can win that sectional. Noblesville went to Mississinewa and won 83-32. It's a really good Noblesville team. They led 22-5 at the end of the first and 42-19 at the half. Mississinewa closes their regular season with another tough one. They're at 19-2 Manchester on Friday. Noblesville faces rival Carmel, which is 10-12 on the year, in the first round of the sectional at Carmel on Tuesday. That has to be one of the state's very best sectionals. Eastbrook won its 7th straight game, beating Southwood 49-39. Sophomore Jaden Younts and junior Bodie Howell scored 15 points apiece to pace the Panthers. Senior Draven Collins, senior Reed Opperly, and sophomore Kyler Hackman all scored 6 points for the Panthers. Eastbrook is at 12-7 Bluffton on Wednesday and at 6-14 South Adams on Friday in a very busy final week of the regular season. Southwood is now 10-13. They got 16 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 block shots from junior Bryce Wilcox. Southwood hosts 12-7 Bluffton on Friday. Tipton closed out its regular season with a 54-35 win at Lewis Cass. It makes the Blue Devils 16-6 with 5 straight wins heading into the postseason. Senior Grady Carpenter had another big night for the Blue Devils with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. He passed Matt Waddell as the program's all-time leader in assists, and that is quite an accomplishment. Matt Waddell was one of the best high school players I've ever seen and also a Hall of Fame guy, one of my all-time favorites. Senior Sam Quigley had 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Sophomore Grayson McFalls, 10 points and 4 rebounds. And sophomore Peyton Aller finished with 7 points and 4 rebounds. Tipton faces Taylor on Tuesday in the first round of the sectional at Frankton. Taylor is 15-7 and has been ranked for most of the season. Cass falls to 4-17. They host 9-13 Central Catholic on Friday. And Lapel won its 11th game in a row on Tuesday, improving to 17-5 with a 70-63 home win over Newcastle. Junior Luke Jones led the Bulldogs with 21 points, and senior Bodie Judge added 20. Junior Quinn Wilkins and senior Brody Judge scored 11 points apiece. Lapel will have about 10 days off before playing against either 14-8 Frankton or 5-16 Elwood on Friday, March the 7th in the Frankton sectional semifinal. I spoke with Lapel head coach Kevin Cherry about his team's regular season finale victory.
Well, we had some huge performances against a really good Newcastle team. Newcastle had Miller back, which is one of their leading scorers, averages 14 a game. He's back tonight after being out with an injury, and boy, we just made enough plays offensively. Luke Jones was big with 21 points for us tonight. Bodie Judge had 20, and we were able to make just a little bit of a run in the third and a little bit of run in the fourth to stretch it out to 8 points and kind of kept it there the last couple of minutes. But proud of our guys on senior night to find a way to win against what I think is a Newcastle team that will have a chance to win a sectional at their home floor.
Absolutely. And that's a big win when you're heading toward the sectional, beating a 3A team like that.
Yeah, I mean, you go into the tournament now and everybody's 0-0, and certain nights you're going to have to find different ways to win maybe. And tonight I felt like offensively we were good enough to find enough ways to win. Defensively, not near good enough the way we're going to have to be in the tournament to guard This was a short prep. Coach Cox at Newcastle runs set after set after set, and we weren't locked into our rules defensively on how we had to guard some different actions, but we'll get better at that, and it's nice to be able to learn and win at the same time.
Newcastle is 8-12 and hosts 8-12 Muncie Central on Friday. That should be a good one. Hamilton Heights beat Rushville 71-40 at home on Tuesday. The Huskies are now 13-8. Senior Gavin Saunders led the Huskies with 24 points. He was 9 for 18 from the field and made 4 of his 10 3-point attempts. He also had 4 steals and 2 assists. Sophomore Jack Kakasulif had 10 points. Senior Chris Nobby, 9. He was 3 for 5 from the field. Senior Aiden Unger finished with 8. He was 3 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 at the line. He also had 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Senior Drayden Cerna and junior Justin Overton scored 6 points apiece. That is one of the deepest teams around. Hamilton Heights will now turn its attention to the postseason. They face 9-13 Connorsville in the Newcastle sectional first round next Tuesday. Rushville is 4-17 and closes its regular season on Thursday before playing New Palestine in the first round of the sectional. Not a good draw for the Lions. Carroll scored the first 14 points of the game and won 57-48 at Western. Carroll has now won 4 games in a row. They were led by senior Eli Falkenberg, who had 27 points. Junior Aiden Duff finished with 19. For Western, which is now 13-10, Carter Biggs led the way with 17 points. Western faces 16-5 Mechanical next Wednesday in the sectional at Logansport in the quarterfinal round. Carroll is at 10-11 Eastern on Friday to conclude its regular season. Marion earned a nice 71-57 win over Fort Wayne Northrop to improve to 11-10 on the season. Junior Tim Jones had 21 points, senior Kobe Johnson 14, senior Jadian Smith and junior Logan Barnes scored 12 points apiece. Marion is at Fort Wayne on Friday when they visit 13-9 Snyder. Northrop is now 9-12. West Dell earned a 65-34 win at Southern Wells. The Warriors are now 9-12, and they face Southern Wells again in the first round of the Southwood sectional on Wednesday. Cowan went to Union and picked up a big 57-41 victory. The Blackhawks are now 6-14. Sophomore Brady Clifford had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 assists, and junior Lucas Terrell 23 points and 5 steals. Senior Gentry Grove had 1 point, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Cowan hosts 1-19 Southern Wells on Friday. And Liberty Christian picked up a nice win to finish its regular season. The Lions won 62-56 at Eastern Hancock. It's the 3rd straight win for Liberty Christian. Eastern Hancock had won 3 straight coming in. Liberty was led by a trio of sophomores. TJ English scored 12, Tywayne Fuller 9, and Kendrick Martin finished with 6. Liberty faced 5-13 MTI Knowledge Academy on Tuesday in the opening round of the sectional at Purdue Broad Ripple. Liberty Christian is the defending sectional and regional champion. Eastern Hancock is now 13-8. They were led by junior Landon Loring's game-high 20 points. Junior Caden Powers had 11, and senior Caden Rubel finished with 8. Eastern Hancock is at 9-11 Hagerstown on Friday. And now you know everything we know about boys basketball in Central Indiana on Tuesday night. Thanks for listening. Always appreciate it. Please don't forget to tell a friend. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of IDG Media. And I love Susie.